Brock Lesnar destroys Oba Femi. The Beast humiliates Oba Femi. Brock Lesnar leaves WWE shocked. Oba Femi faces the Beast. Brock Lesnar sends a warning. Make sure you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you never miss an update. Have you ever watched a WWE superstar walk to the ring and instantly feel like somebody's career was about to end? And what happens when a rising powerhouse finally realizes that the monster standing across from him isn't just another opponent, but a living nightmare called Brock Lesnar? Because that's exactly what happened when Oba Femi stepped into the spotlight thinking he was ready for the biggest fight of his life, only to discover there are levels to this game that nobody can prepare you for. And honestly, the scary part wasn't even the violence. It was the look on Brock's face. You know that look. WWE fans know that look. The same expression that made legends panic. The same cold stare that turned champions into victims. No smile. No trash talk. No theatrics. Just pure destruction loading in real time, like somebody accidentally unlocked the final boss too early. The entire atmosphere felt wrong from the beginning. Before the bell even rang, the crowd already sounded nervous. Not excited nervous. Survival nervous. There's a difference. The second Brock's music hit, the camera literally caught fans jumping out of their seats like they had just seen a horror movie villain appear behind them. And somehow, after all these years, that aura still works. That's insane when you think about it. Most wrestlers lose that mystique eventually. Time catches everybody. Fans get used to you. The act cools off a little. But Brock Lesnar somehow feels dangerous every single time he shows up. It's like WWE secretly stores him in a giant steel box underground until they need chaos for a premium live event. And poor Oba Femi, man. This dude came in confident too. That's the crazy part. He wasn't scared walking down that ramp. He looked focused, intense, ready to prove himself. You could tell he believed this was his moment, the big breakout performance, the night he shocks the world and stands face to face with one of the most terrifying names in wrestling history. And to be fair, Oba's been building momentum for a while now. Fans have been hyping him up non-stop. People keep saying he's the future, the next monster, the next dominant force. The guy has size, strength, charisma, and that natural intimidation factor WWE loves. Even casual fans looked at him and went, okay, yeah, this dude looks like he could throw a truck. But then Brock stepped into the ring, and suddenly Oba didn't look gigantic anymore. That's the weird Brock Lesnar effect. He shrinks people without even touching them. It's psychological warfare before the fight even starts. You could literally feel the energy shift. The camera kept cutting to fans holding their phones up because everybody knew something insane was about to happen. And then Brock smiled. Not a happy smile either. That terrifying little smirk he does right before violence happens. Yeah, that one. If you're enjoying this already, hit the like button because we need to talk about how Brock managed to humiliate Oba Femi without even needing a 20-minute match. Seriously, this felt less like competition and more like a public warning sent to the entire locker room. The bell rings. Oba tries to stand his ground immediately. Smart move, honestly. If you back away from Brock, you're dead. We've seen it too many times. So Oba steps forward and shoves him first, and the crowd loses it. For a split second, people actually believed he might overpower Brock. You could hear fans screaming. Commentary started sounding shocked. Even Brock looked slightly amused, like, oh, okay. You've got courage. But courage and survival are two completely different things, because the next 10 seconds were horrifying. Brock exploded forward with that ridiculous speed that still makes no sense for a human being his size. Seriously, how is this man built like a refrigerator but moves like a linebacker possessed by demons? Somebody explain that to me. One takedown. One massive German suplex. And suddenly Oba Femi looked like he had just been hit by a car. The crowd went from cheering to gasping instantly. That's when the panic started. You could actually see it on Oba's face for the first time. Not fear exactly, more like realization. The kind of realization every wrestler eventually has against Brock Lesnar. That horrible moment where your brain quietly says, "Oh no, this is real." And Brock sensed it immediately. That's what makes him terrifying. He hunts weakness better than almost anybody WWE has ever had. The second he notices doubt, he turns vicious. And from that point forward, the match became brutal. Another suplex. Then another. Then another. At one point, fans literally started counting out loud because the destruction became ridiculous. Oba kept trying to fight back, and honestly, respect to him for that. Most people would have folded instantly. But every comeback just seemed to annoy Brock even more. And that's the thing nobody talks about enough. Brock Lesnar enjoys breaking confidence, not just beating people. Breaking them. There's a difference. Anybody can win a match. Brock wants opponents questioning their entire identity afterward. He wants them lying awake at 3 a.m. wondering if they ever belonged in the ring with him to begin with. That's why his matches feel so uncomfortable sometimes. It's not just physical dominance. It's psychological humiliation. And unfortunately for Oba Femi, the humiliation was just getting started. Because midway through the fight, Oba finally managed to rock Brock with a huge strike. The crowd exploded. People jumped out of their seats. For 1 second, it looked like momentum might actually shift. Brock stumbled backward, and then he laughed. Bro, that might have been the scariest moment of the entire night. Imagine hitting a man with your best shot and he starts laughing at you. I'm sorry, at that point, I'm leaving the arena. Forget the match. Forget the contract. I'm calling an Uber immediately. And after that laugh, Brock turned into an absolute monster. He launched Oba across the ring with another German suplex that looked disgusting. Even commentary went silent for a second. That silence told the whole story. You know a move was insane when professional announcers stop talking because their souls temporarily leave their bodies. Then Brock started toying with him. That's what made this uncomfortable to watch. He wasn't rushing for the victory anymore. He wanted the crowd to watch Oba suffer. Every time Oba tried standing up, Brock knocked him back down harder. Every attempt at offense got crushed instantly. It felt like watching a lion play with its food. And the fans were completely split. Half the arena was screaming for Brock because chaos is entertaining. The other half started rallying behind Oba because people love an underdog fighting impossible odds. That emotional tug of war made everything feel bigger. But deep down, everybody knew how this was ending. Still, Oba refused to quit. And honestly, that might have been the most impressive part of the entire showdown. Even while getting destroyed, he kept getting back up. Barely standing sometimes, but still fighting. That resilience matters. WWE fans notice that stuff. You can lose a match and still gain respect if you survive the storm. But Brock wasn't interested in respect. He wanted humiliation. The turning point came when Brock caught Oba charging at him and delivered the F5 with terrifying force. And I mean terrifying. Oba practically folded in half on impact. The crowd lost their minds. Phones went flying into the air. Commentary started yelling. Kids in the front row looked traumatized. One guy near the barricade had both hands on his head like he'd just witnessed a crime. And somehow Brock still wasn't done. That's the insane part. Most wrestlers would pin the opponent right there. Easy victory. Good night, everybody. But Brock sat up slowly and stared directly at Oba Femi like he wanted him conscious for the embarrassment. Cold. Absolutely cold. Then Brock grabbed him again. Another F5. At that